Once they find out about Leo, and that's up to us to market us and get ourselves into. I've spoken at over 360 universities and colleges across India. Probably spoken to 100,000 students, spreading the message about study abroad. So once they come here, what does the office do? They will do a consultation, working out what grade the student is, the financial background, the English, which is very important. If you're going to a foreign country and I'm going to be a lecturer in day one, you've got to be able to understand me or my wife. Not your Indian English, you're talking about UK or Irish English or American English, or no matter where you go. That's point number one. So English is very important. So once we've ascertained the levels of that student, then we will present the number of colleges that we feel that they should go to. Okay? So if I use the example of data analytics and I said there are 3 colleges that you go to, now here's the key. Most consultancies say, right, we'll go to that, but my thing is that the student must look at the modules. Yes. Because all of us will look at a different course a different way, because the modules are different. A happy student, I only learned that from an Indian student who one day said to me, he had his own business and he said, I did the wrong course, the correct course with the wrong modules in the wrong university. My friend was doing it. So I insist that we do that. That is, for me, number one. The first question a student will ask you, can I get a job? I'm thinking we're sitting here in March, you're not going to graduate until September next year if you go in September this year. I don't know what the economy of that country is. Am I an economist? No, I'm not. How do I get a job? Well, okay, you get a job, you need to have a LinkedIn profile, you need to do CV and interview courses, and you need to use the careers officer in the university because they have the jobs.
What's the USP of your Leo overseas?
We don't charge, no money, okay? We tell the truth. We do not we don't sell a dream. This is reality. Your child is going to get on an airplane one day, land the other side, temperature will be different, the weather will be different, everything is different. It's up like that. Like the first day when I came to India, I came to Chennai and I went like that. Now 14, 15 years later, I'm relaxed.
So it's what you feel, sir, you are challenging of your competitors. You mean that they charge?
Some charge, some do not tell the truth. So for us, that's very important. And the other thing we have many, we've probably got 50 direct contracts now. Direct contracts with universities. So the universities themselves, in the UK or Ireland or the US or Canada or Australia, they will work with us. So that is very important.
Fine, sir. A quick question with Dr. Rajkumar, sir. How can you plan a twin-side coin with Leo and Lifeline, sir?
Right. So, the reason I was told that parents had phoned me. Saying many parents had phoned me up and said, what is this? And a simple example is GPS. But Google, you use the GPS. You don't pay the GPS anything. The GPS makes their money through ads, etc. But the GPS tells you how to get somewhere. Avoid money and GPS. Every good overseas consultancy has a GPS money. Now, how they function is they match the student according to his dreams. Over student to get in the route. And the route they have a connection to the university and they get paid by the university, which is fantastic. Our children, our parents don't need to pay, which is brilliant. And they are telling them the truth, saying, you go here, this is cold for you, English, English a simple example I will tell you. Kamaraj, the famous chief minister that we had. So once, choose medical students, last 5 seats in which there were 10 students for the last 5 seats. All 10 students were backward class, all 10 students, everything else was the same. They had the same 92.25%. Everything else was the same. How would we choose? The senior IAS officers could not choose. Kamaraj said, give me all the application forms and go. They gave it. Within 5 minutes, he called them and said, give these 5 students. And the reason he said was, when he looked at the application forms, all the 10 application forms, these 5 had only the thumbprint. When the father had not studied. He just put a thumbprint. And these were children from low-end agricultural background. In the medical Kamaraj. So very important example because there are, while we speak in English and do this, there are children out there in Vidupuram, Udumanpet, small small kugramams or tiny hamlets in villages where they cannot speak English very well and they're not earning much. That student has every right to become a doctor as much as you or me, as much as your child, or to become an engineer, or to become anything. And of course, this is the concept. You may say, why should you go abroad to become a doctor? I'll give you a simple example, and I'll be happy to tie up Leo with them. Even if you go write the NEET exam, I'm not getting into the NEET controversy here, that's a different animal altogether. The NEET pass பண்றாங்க மெடிக்கல் சேர்றாங்க அந்த கவர்மெண்ட் சீட் தவிர எந்த சீட் சேர்ந்தாலும் எந்த சீட் சேர்ந்தாலும் ரொம்ப குறைஞ்ச பட்சம் விலை வந்து 13 லட்சம். How many people here can pay 13 lakhs a year after the child writes NEET, gets a high mark, 92% whatever? That means to become a doctor is nearly 85 lakhs to 1 crore. இதுவே NEET பாஸ் பண்ணி ஆல் இன்க்ளூசிவ் பிலிப்பீன்ஸில் 35 லட்சம் போய் படிச்சுட்டு எல்லாம் 5-6 வருஷம் முடிச்சுட்டு வரும்போது ஒரு எக்ஸாம் எழுதிட்டு திருப்பி அங்கே ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டு இங்கே MD MS பண்ணுறேன். அதில் என்ன பார்ப்பேன், அது வெளியூருக்கு போகக்கூடாது, வெளியூர் அப்போ இங்கே சீட்டு கொடு, அப்போ இங்கே சீட்டு வந்து 1 கோடி கொடு, 1 கோடி இல்லை, இது வந்து தள்ளி 5 லட்சம் ஒரு வருஷம் கொடுத்து 30 லட்சம் கொடுக்கணும். ஒவ்வொரு பட்டி தொட்டியில் இருக்கிற தனி ஒரு மனிதனுடைய உரிமையை பார்க்கணும். நாம் எல்லாரும் ஒரு லேபிளில் போட்டு நீட் வேணும், ஓவர்சீஸ் வேணும். என்னை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் நான் வந்து I have met personally at least 200-300 students studying in Philippines. They're all from the lowest stratum. Fathers, literally sold their land or something, put together maybe 200,000-300,000 pounds for the entire 5-6 years, and these children come back and one day they will be brain surgeons and heart surgeons, making big money, getting
and also they have more hunger.
They have more hunger. Yes.
Here the next question with you, sir.
Sorry, I'd just like to add a couple of things as well.
Yes.
One thing about Leo Global Overseas, because the owner Srinivas Lagadapati left Andhra Pradesh back in 2008 and went to London. We are based in London. We have 2 offices in London. So our main office is in East Ham, which is specifically an area where people from Andhra Pradesh and Telangana live in London. If you come out of the tube station, you literally think you are in India except for the weather and the number plates of the cars. Everything else is so Indian. It is amazing. We have an office in there right opposite a massive temple, okay? And I sit in the corporate office in Canary Wharf. So I bring all the universities there. But by having the 2 offices there, when the student lands into the UK, our offices can deal with all those first world issues like I'm lost, where's my accommodation, where's my university, or afterwards if there's any issues with the student with mental health issues, my wife and myself and the office in London work with the students. On top of that, the owner also has a cafe called Chill with Chai beside the office where students can come and go and sit in there, have a coffee and chill out and chat, and the staff will come in there so they don't have to go. And the other thing he has is a company called Leo Recruits. So when you're looking for part-time work, but more importantly when you're looking for work after you graduate, we have 8 people working in an office just outside London. So he's actually got 3 offices or 4 of the cafe as well. You go to that office and they will assist you in getting a full-time job. So the whole journey that Leo Global Overseas isn't just hopping on a plane and saying goodbye. It's about the other end, which is more important than this side, and looking after you. And I have met students who have gone the whole way and come out, and now they come up to me and I own 2 shops, I have 2 businesses, I came through Leo Global Overseas, and that's how that all works and comes together. So the owner's model is to be socially inclusive. He's not in it for the money. He will tell you, if he was sitting here, I know I'm not in it for the money, but he is, and the amount of people he gives work to and everything like that. So he has a different philosophy to most companies.
It's really a great template for everyone. Can you give an overall scroll about how many students are coming from India, from Leo?
So Leo Global over the last number of years traditionally would do around 1,000 students from India to the UK alone. Now with all these new offices going into new states, you're going to see that number grow. Even during COVID, even during the MAC review, the MAC review, the British government had a huge review of student migration into the country, and a lot of people stopped going last year. There are no dependents anymore into the UK. But we've overcome that, and our numbers stayed up. So that's where it is. So we will now grow with Sir Sharice's help. We will grow Chennai, we will grow Tamil Nadu, grow South. He's now the southern manager as well, and yourself the tactics. I know what you have to do. I've done it myself before. So the growth is there. But at the other end, when the student arrives into and we're just talking about the UK specifically. So we live in Ireland, so we can look after. We also have an office in the USA as well, and students go there. So that's the whole philosophy. So give it another 2 or 3 years, we'll have all the major countries. Because, you know, when I started this industry many years ago, the students were only going mainly to the US. Some to Canada. Canada became popular. Then the UK and Australia. It's very hard to get into Canada now. Very hard to get into Australia. USA numbers, 50% of visas rejected last year for no reason. Now we have Trump. The UK and Ireland are the two most settled places at the moment. You know, but now we have lots of students going to Germany and France, and you know, so the whole thing has changed. You know, with all the elections last year, there were 75 world elections last year. Number one subject in most countries is immigration. But when the election is over, it goes. It'll never appear again. Now you've got Canada having its election now at Mark Carney. So immigration will be an issue. But once the election is over, it goes away. So, you know, this is all the geopolitics, economics, we all have to do, you understand it. And honestly, it never stops rolling.
Now, a question to Rajkumar sir. We have been seeing every day your tech vaccination. Your tech vaccination in YouTube, it is spellbound. It is spellbound. Now you have made it amazing and we are mesmerized. And we feel bad that we have missed for the long years. And how about you feel, sir, medicines or any students, those who get equipped overseas or globally level, those are the real students you feel that they can charge or they can take the leadership?
Good question. I would not say that overseas students are necessarily better off than the local students. But as he rightly said, I find one with a hunger, for 80% of them. 20% will just decide to party, that's their every group, you know. But 80% of them, about a month or two ago I was in Philippines, there is a hunger to come back to bring those techniques and technology back into our country and to start joining the mainstream, etc. I really believe that there's a huge future for medicine, study of medicine abroad. And I really believe that one of the places that Leo Global should look at, and I'm very, very happy to tie you up, is Southeast Asia. You know, there's a concept of go south that Modi ji has said in the G20. When you say south, generally when you say go south, it means something goes for a 6
Yeah, I know.
He says this is the global south, Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, you know, all of these, the southern hemisphere. And we'd be very happy to tie Leo Global so that our students from India can go through Leo. Again, everybody needs they need the IELS or TOEFL, they need guidance, they need career counseling, the entire package. And you can guide them to do medicine or engineering. In those who cannot afford the European countries, can definitely afford Southeast Asian countries. They still have the benefit of, you know, universities like Singapore and Philippines. Some of them are out of the world, and I would be very happy personally to do that. Last point is, when you have students that you want to bring in, talk about career recruitment, we do that all the time as well. And we have a spread across in Hyderabad, Pune, Philippines, etc. We'll be very happy to take either technical people like doctors or non-technical. We'll be happy to take on trainee students. We'll be happy to take on junior doctors. We'll be happy to take on non-medical, paramedical people, or even IT engineers, for example, or people involved in other aspects of business into our business. So I don't want a very kind of one aspect partnership, but a multifaceted and a 360 degree.
We are honored, sir. Yeah, it's the last question from our end. Whom do you vouch, maybe a UG graduate or a PG graduate globally, for your lifeline?
I would say maybe. The fact is that at this point in time, I would look at a foreign medical graduate and Indian medical graduate on an equal term. But there was a time When they used to say, oh, this chap is studied in China, he's not a good doctor. This chap is studied in Philippines, he's not a good doctor. Those days are gone. I would like to say that now.
Sorry.
No.
One more. Supriyaji, please come.
Madam,
We are expecting you. Please be seated.
I would conclude by saying, now the times have changed. Indian medical graduates and Indian medical postgraduates and foreign medical postgraduates are more or less on the same plane. I would also like to end by saying that I'm a strong nationalist and a believer in the central government. Canada has been showing a lot of antagonism towards India.
Suresh,
At any point of time, we give them something like 1,000 crores or 2,000 crores every year into Canada. இது கேட்குற தமிழ்நாட்கள் எல்லாரும் தேவையில்லாமல் கேனடாவில் போய் ஒரு காசை கொட்டாதீங்க. நம்மளை ஒழிக்கணும்னு பார்த்து ஒரு நாட்டுக்கிட்ட நம்மளே போய் காசு கொடுக்க தேவையில்லை. நமக்கு நம்ம நாட்டோட நட்பு காட்டுற ஒரு இங்கிலாண்டோ அல்லது ஒரு பிலிப்பீன்ஸோ ஒரு ஆஸ்திரேலியாவோ நம்ம இருக்கலாம். Rather than Canada, this is my little nationalist.
here he shows some skin effect, please sir.
Yeah, no, I just want to go on to a point talking about students going away and coming back. Student goes away for 1 year and leaves that country and comes back to India. Student gets a job. Most countries offer a 2-year stay back. At the end of the 2-year stay back, they come back, or they get a job, and then they can move on. Some countries become a citizen. And then they get married. Then they have children. When the child reaches 4 years of age, where is that child going to get educated? Average length of a student in Ireland and the UK abroad is 11 years. Because that 11th year, your child is probably 4 or 5. I then go back to my home country. Plus my parents are getting older and I have to look after all those social demographics come in. And that pulls them back. So some stay abroad. The perception is 80% of Indian students who go to the UK come home. 80%. So the perception might be seen that they go and they never come back, but they do come back. They'll stay for 2-3 years. Bit of experience, which you don't get here, and they come back. And they bring that back with them, and they bring that wealth of knowledge, as you know, with the
I spent 5 years.
Now question to Supriyaji.
Yes.
How do you feel that emotional bondage plays a major role for the students, those who are getting up their enrollment for the overseas?
Overseas, first they have an idea that it is something like a boom, they want to get there, they want to stay there. But once they get into that place, they feel that they want to gain knowledge over there, and to a certain extent as sir says, they want to come back. So they have an intuition that, because I am already interacting with the students regularly, so they initially when they are in the 12th standard, they have an idea, I want to acquire knowledge, I have to do something, I have to do something in a different way. It's not that everyone does. So they, in that way, they want to go there. But once they get into that mood, but where they gain knowledge, but they work there and they will gain knowledge about it, and then they want to come back actually.
One more quick question, ma'am.
Yes.
What do you feel when students are forcing the parents to go to abroad, or parents are forcing?
No, you cannot say they are forced, because nowadays the students are very smart enough. They take their own decisions.
Yeah. So
Because
they-
no one can, because we cannot guide our 12th standard students to take up a group also. Because they have their own destination now, and they are working towards that destination. So now the only thing what we have to do is we have to give a pathway where they can achieve their destination properly.
No, I
Changed
vouch,
now.
ma'am, because last 2-3 weeks, so more walk-ins here, they don't bring their parents.
That's what.
They decide over here, desk, and then they call to their parents.
Yes.
14 years ago when I started up in Dunganbagam, students would come in, they had no idea of the world. They didn't know where the USA was. Geography did not exist, okay? They didn't know what they want to study. A student will come in here, you'll have that, I want to study X at Y university in Z country. They've already decided, that's true.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
Before,
that's the difference in
even
that
20 years back,
Yeah.
when I was in the same field,
Yeah.
they don't know, they have no clue.
No clue at all.
And they just come on the
and they
desk
bring
and
their
ask
parents in,
what
then they come in
course
on
I have
their
to
own.
take. Even the
Parents
course they
will be
don't.
guiding them actually.
Yeah.
So the guidance will be given by the parents.
And-
But now students are exposed to the knowledge through the internet.
They're coming with a list of universities
Yeah,
there.
they, as my
Yeah.
daughter has also done the
Yeah.
PG in US only. So she has a more, because I didn't involve at all actually, to be frank. She selected the course, she selected the college. Yeah, she's in Florida now, but she's comfortable with her profession. She said, I got my profession. I got the job what I want, because I want to be in supply chains. She was very determined to take the
Yeah.
supply chains, and now she's in supply
The
chains.
world is there in their hand. Anybody, anything can be grown
Yes.
immediately.
Yeah.
And no one can cheat them nowadays.
No.
No one can influence them.
Humility will stay.
Self-motivated. They are really self-motivated.
To grace the occasion, we call upon Supriya ma'am to take a token of love.
Thank you so much.
We can't say whether they are earlier or you are late, but
No other
It
question.
doesn't matter, it rolls along.
That does, doesn't it?
intellectual life science
That does.
Yeah,
That
it
future.
does.
does, yeah, you can't.
For 23 years I'm in the biology, sir. Biology teacher in high school.
Very nice.
So I'm handling psychology and biology taken students in school. So particularly because nowadays the students are more to take up psychology more. And they want to, even I have a student who wants to move to UK now to complete her studies in psychology.
Even my daughters are psychology.
Yeah. Psychology. Yeah.
அந்த ராஜ்குமார் சார் ஒரே ஒரு கொஸ்டின் இப்போ நிஜமே ட்ரம்ப் வந்து பிரசிடென்ட் ஆகிடும் ஸோ நிறைய டாக்டர்ஸ் அங்கே இருக்காரு இப்போ இந்தியாவுக்கு அந்த டாக்டர்ஸ்லாம் இப்போ செட்டில் உள்ள டாக்டர்ஸ்லாம் வரதுக்கான வாய்ப்பு இருக்குமா இல்லை
நல்ல கொஸ்டின் கேட்டுருக்காங்க. வெரி நைஸ் சென்சிபிள். அது நியூஸை படித்து நுண்ணியமான ஒரு கேள்வி. இந்த பதில் என்னன்னா, இஸ் ஆஸ்கிங் வாட் வில் ஹேப்பன் டு டாக்டர்ஸ் செட்டில் த பிரசிடென்ஸ் ஆஃப் ட்ரம்ப். இப்போ அவங்க பண்ணுற மாற்றங்களில் ஆல்ரெடி உள்ள செட்டில் ஆன டாக்டர்ஸ்க்கு ஒரு பெரிய தாக்கம் இருக்காது. ஆனால் நம்ம பசங்க, ஆயிரக்கணக்கான பசங்க இந்த ரெசிடென்சி ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ்லாம் இருக்காங்க. அதாவது இந்த ரெசிடென்சி முடித்து அவங்க அங்கே செட்டில் பண்ணணும். நிறைய பேர் அதில் வந்து அந்த விசா கன்வெர்ட் ஆகிட்டப்பறம் தான் அங்கே செட்டில் ஆகும். இப்போ அவங்க என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க, எங்ககிட்ட வந்துக்கோ, படிச்சுக்கோ, படிக்கிறது அங்கே வேலை செய்கிற மாதிரி தான். அந்த டைமில் முடிக்கும்போது நீ திருப்பி ஊருக்கு போ, அங்கே நீ தங்க முடியாதுங்கிற ஒரு அந்த நிபந்தனையை அவங்க கொண்டு வரதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது. அங்கே physicians of Indian origin is a huge group which is pushing to try to prevent that, because we make up the bulwark of the workforce. நீங்கள் இங்கிலாந்து எடுத்தாலும் சரி, யூகேல எடுத்தாலும் சரி, அமெரிக்கா எடுத்தாலும் சரி, இந்த ஒர்க் ஃபோர்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்தியன் டாக்டர்ஸ் ரிமூவ் பண்ணால் இப்போ கொலாப்ஸ். ஸோ அப்படி இருந்தும் அவங்க என்ன சொன்னால், நீங்கள் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு போயிடுங்க, இங்கே செட்டில் ஆகாதீங்கிறது அவங்களுடைய பாயிண்ட். நம்ம பசங்க இங்கேருந்து படிச்சுட்டு போகிறது அமெரிக்காவுக்கு போகிற லுக் அட் த பீப்புள் கோ டு அமெரிக்கா 80-90% ப்ளஸ் அங்கே செட்டில் ஆகிடும். they will settle. Whereas UK, like me, I spent 5 years.
Yeah.
I came back. So UK போயிட்டு வந்துடுவான். ஸோ நீங்கள் சொல்கிறது உண்மைதான். அங்கே போய் ஆல்ரெடி படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கிற பசங்களுக்கும் ஒரு பெரிய கேள்வி. இனிமேல் நம்ம அங்கே போய் அங்கே படிக்கலாம்னு நினைக்கிற ஏஷியன் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸுக்கும் ஒரு பெரிய கேள்வி. அப்போ தான் இது மாதிரி ஒரு குளோபல் ஓவர்சீஸ் குரூப் கிட்ட பேசினா, இல்லை இங்கே போனால் இந்த பிரச்சனை வரலாம், ஒரு ஜிபிஎஸ் மாதிரி, அதுக்கு வந்து நீங்கள் இந்த இடத்துக்கு போய் படிங்க, அங்கே போயிட்டு வாங்கன்னு சொல்லி அவங்களோட அட்வைஸ் இருக்குது.
இன்னொன்று கேன்சர் மெடிசன் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, இப்போ கேன்சர் அதிகமாக வரும் இந்தியாவில். இப்போ அதிகமாக கேன்சர், வெரைட்டி ஆஃப் கேன்சர்.
கரெக்ட்.
ஸ்பெஷலிஸ்ட் டாக்டர் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்தியாவில் ரொம்ப கம்மி தான் இருக்குது. அப்ராடில் நம்ம இந்தியன் டாக்டர்ஸ் ஃபாரினில் தருது. ஸோ நம்ம ஏதோ ஒரு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி இந்த கவர்மெண்ட் கொடுத்து அந்த டாக்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் இங்கே வர வச்சு இந்த கேன்சர் பேஷண்ட்ஸ் வந்து க்யூர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்குமா?
குட் கொஸ்டின் பிரதர். வெளியூரில் வந்து கேன்சர் ஸ்பெஷலிஸ்ட் நம்ம ஆட்களோட கம்மி. அது ரொம்ப கம்மியான ஆட்கள் தான் அதுக்கு ட்ரெயின் பண்ணுவாங்க. என்ன கேட்டிங்கன்னா, ரொம்ப ஆக்சுவலாக நீங்கள் கேட்குற கேள்வியில் வந்து லைஃப் சயின்ஸ் மானிடையில் இருக்குது. எந்த வியாதிகள், நான் ரீசெண்டாக கூட டெல்லியில் பேசும்போது சொல்லிட்டு, எந்த வியாதிகள் அதிகரிக்கிறதோ அதுக்கு ஸ்பெஷலிஸ்ட் இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணணும். இல்லை நாங்கள் 80 வருஷமாக 4 கேன்சர் ஸ்பெஷலிஸ்ட் தான் வருவோம், ஆனால் அப்போ 40 பேஷண்ட் இருந்தாங்க, இப்போ 40,000 பேஷண்ட் இருக்காங்க. அதே 4 கேன்சர் ஸ்பெஷலிஸ்ட் எவ்வளோ பேர் பார்ப்போம். ஸோ தேவைப்பட்ட அந்த பிரிவுகளில் அணிகளை வந்து நம்ம பெருசாக்கி விரிவு செய்து அதுக்கு ஏற்ற போல சிறப்பு நிபுணர்களை வந்து வளர்த்து விட்டோம்னா பாப்புலேஷன் நல்லது. ஆனால் எல்லாத்தையும் நான் ஒன்று சொல்லுவேன், இந்த காலகட்டத்தில் நீங்கள் சென்னையில் நடந்தாலே போதும், சென்னைக்கும் செங்கல்பட்டு காஞ்சிபுரத்துக்கும் 2 மடங்கு வித்தியாசம் இருக்குது கேன்சர் இன்சூரன்ஸ். ஏன்
பேண்டமிக் மாதிரி கேன்சர்
அது மாதிரி மாதிரி நீங்கள் பாருங்க, இங்கே வந்து நம்ம எல்லாம் ட்ருன்னு சத்தம் போட்டு மோட்டர் வை பண்ணால் கெத்தாக இருக்கும். கெத்தாக இருக்கும்போது அந்த எக்ஸாஸ்ட்லேருந்து இவ்வளோ கேன்சர் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுற கெமிக்கல்ஸ் வரும். அதை பற்றி பேசினா பாயோண்டாம்பாங்க. ஆனால் அது அப்பாவுக்கு அதே வந்து ஒரு லங் கேன்சர் மூச்சு வாங்கி மூச்சு எடுத்து லங் கேன்சரோட வந்து ரத்தம் தூக்கிட்டு வந்து அப்போ பாயோண்டான்னு யாரும் சொல்ல மாட்டாங்க. அந்த லெவலில் நம்ம யோசிக்கணும். மாலிகுலர் லெவலில் நம்ம ஒவ்வொரு வாட்டி மோட்டர் பைக்கை ரெவப் பண்ணும்போது, டீசல் என்ஜின்ஸை போட்டு தாக்கும்போது, அல்லது பெட்ரோல் ஸ்மோக்ஸ் விடும்பொழுது, ஸ்மோக் பண்ணி வெளியில் போடும்பொழுது சுற்றி இருக்கிறவங்க அத்தனை பேருக்கும் கேன்சர் ரிஸ்க் ஏறிக்கிட்டே இருக்கு. கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு அட்டல் எவ்ரிபடி நம்ம உடம்புல எங்கெல்லாம் கழிவு பாதைகள் இருக்கோ, உடம்பு என்ன சொல்றது, இதனால கேன்சர் வரும் போகிற வழியில் அது கேன்சர் கொடுத்துருக்கோம். மூச்சு விடுறோம், கழிவு பாதை நம்ம எடுக்கிற சிகரெட்டு நம்ம சென்னையில் நடந்தாலே சிகரெட் பிடிக்கிற மாதிரி தான், டெல்லியில் நடந்தால் 10 சிகரெட் பிடிக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். அந்த இம்பாக்ட் வெளியே போகுது. ஸோ மூக்கில், வாயில், இந்த வாயு பாதை எல்லாத்தையும் கேன்சர் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகுது. அதுக்கு நம்ம சாப்பிட்ற ப்ராசஸ்ட் ஃபுட், பர்கர், பீட்சா போன்ற ரபிஷ் எவ்வளோ நம்ம சாப்பிட்றோமோ அந்த கெமிக்கல்ஸ் எல்லாம் சிறுநீரில் போகுது. பிளாடரில் கேன்சர் ரொம்ப இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகிடுச்சு. அல்லது மலத்தில் போகுது, மலக்குடல் கேன்சர் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகிடுச்சு. உடம்பு வேணாம்னு சொல்லி தள்ளுறதெல்லாம் கேன்சர் ஆகுது. நான் எல்லாருமே டாக்டர் அந்த விஷயத்தை அப்படி தான் சொல்லுவேன். ஏன்பா சாப்பிட்டு அப்புறம் கஷ்டப்படணும், சாப்பிட்றதுனா அதுக்கு சாப்பிடாம இருக்க வேண்டாம். ப்ராசஸ்ட் ஃபுட் சாப்பிட வேண்டாம். நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் ஸ்மோக்கிங் வேண்டாம், ஆல்கோஹால் கொஞ்சமாக. அது பாரதியார் அழகாக சொன்னார். இந்த குளோப் பார்க்கும்போது தான் சொன்னேன், பாருக்குள்ளே நல்ல நாடு நம்ம இந்திய நாடு, பாரத நாடு. நம்ம இங்கே வந்து எல்லாம் பாருக்குள்ளே தானே நல்ல நாடாக கொஞ்சம் அடி. இப்போ பசங்க நான் சொல்லுவேன், லிவரில் ஓகே கொஞ்சம் தண்ணி அடிங்க, அதுக்கு நாள் பூரா தண்ணி அடிக்க தேவையில்லை. அதே போல் ஸ்மோக்கிங் வேண்டாம், டெஃபினட்டாக ப்ராசஸ்ட் ஃபுட் வேண்டாம். நீங்கள் வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஆல்கஹாலோட நீங்கள் சாப்பிட்ற ப்ராசஸ்ட் ஃபுட் லைக் பர்கர்ஸ் அண்ட் பீட்சாஸ் கேன் காஸ்ட் யூ மச் மோர் டேமேஜ். Processed food is really bad. Food processing industry needs to be checked. So that's
Thank you for your social awareness, sir. And final question to sir. How much you can vouch our Leo enrolling students to get their settlement, maybe gender-wise? There is any difference in gender-wise?
No, there's no difference in gender-wise. Male and female are. Most countries have laws where they have to employ. They can't discriminate against either male or female. So that's very much a European thing. You'll find that around the world. Some parts of the world are different, obviously. Police car. We were out in 1 minute. We had gone from the ground. Wonderful. So he's coming here, and then Sudhir Loader is coming as well. So many cameras.
Yes, sir.
You made a special arrangement because you come here. Our international director.
Yeah.
Stay there.
There you go, shake hand there. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an esteemed pleasure today to be here at the opening of the Leo Global Overseas Office in Chennai. This is a city that I came to many years ago through my great friend Sudhir Loader. He introduced me to the international student recruitment industry, and many years later I returned to this city as an international director of an international company. In 2008, a man from Guntur in Andhra Pradesh, Srinivas Lagadapati, left India to go to the UK to study in London. And this many years later, 17 years later, he now has, this is going to be his 15th office, 2 in London and the rest are here in India, as we open up all across India. As Sir said, we don't charge, we only tell the truth, we do not tell lies. We are a good company. This is my 4th company I've worked with in India. But for me, being based in London, in the UK, with the owner, strategically we plan everything. And then we hand it over to people like Sir here. So with all this coming together, the company is growing. We had 70 staff last year, we've over 150 now. We had 6 offices last year, now we've got 15 offices and more to come. So it is just amazing to see how quickly the growth has happened. But that is the vision of the founder and director of Leo Global, Srinivas Lagadapati. And it would be remiss of me not to mention his late brother, Anji Babu, who died in an accident last year and grew the company with him over those 10 years. So we've all had to kind of fill in the hole after Anji passed away, and Srinivas and a lot of his other managers now have moved the company on to get to this vision. So I thank you very much for coming here today. I'm indebted for you, sir, coming, and for you coming here. I'm thrilled. This is my wife Mary, who works in the company as well. But we're all part of the Leo Global family. And thank you very much.